this technical stuff on. He's not in a good mood. When he's got to push all the buttons at once, it kind of throws him a bit. But there we go. How you doing, Brad?
Can I say a huge good evening to yourself, Drew, and Rudy? And to a big good evening to the boys in the lobby and to all our Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
Yourself, Rudy, how you doing?
Good, Drew. Thanks for asking. I hope you are as well, mate.
Aye. And to answer Hoot's question in the lobby, I'm doing well, mate. I hope you are as well. I hope everybody is on the lobby, but there we go. But here it goes. We continue, lads. Hibs 0, Rangers 0. With enough chances to win 3 games. What's happening, Bridge?
Oh, my God. We were saying last night that obviously we need to get that one goal, particularly from Morelos, and then I think that we feel the floodgates will open and give us a right good chance. I'm not down in the mouth or anything. I was really down after the Dundee game and even after the Hamilton game when we won. But after last night, I thought our performance was excellent in every part of the park, with the exception of putting the ball in the net. Their goalkeeper, we brought another fantastic performance from an opposing goalkeeper, young lad. So we had one in Hamilton. The boy just, I don't know what he did. He must have ruined Kyle Lafferty's life for the next 2 years anyway. And that boy last night, the great game against particularly Morelos with his shots. So we're bringing the best out in some people, except our actual finishing. So that's the only thing that was wrong for me. I mean, really wrong was our finishing.
Good point, mate. Rudy, what do you think yourself, mate?
You just more or less the same as Bridge. I think we're missing a bit of quality up front. I thought last night's performance overall was really good. I thought it was a really good team performance. You know, some standout individual performances. I thought Alfredo played brilliantly. Watched it back again the day too. Alfredo was excellent. He thoroughly deserved a goal. I thought the defence played well for the first sort of 15 minutes when Hibs were at us a wee bit. It took us about 15 minutes, I thought, to get into the game. But after that, there was only 1 team in it, in my opinion. You could see that with the stats, the amount of shots in it that we had through, you know. Ryan Jack was, I thought, brilliant. I thought Ryan Jack played so well. He really seems to come on to a wee bit of form for me. We're missing a bit of quality up front just now. We're just no putting the ball in the back of the net. So we start. I think we've scored 2 goals in the last 5 games through. Admittedly, some of the performances haven't been great. You know, we didn't play well against Aberdeen, didn't play well against Dundee. But certainly last night we thoroughly deserved the 3 points. There was 2 big moments in the game that the referee got completely wrong, in my opinion. The penalty and the tackle by, I've forgotten the boy's name now, on Koulibaly. That was a straight red for me. Had a Rangers player, Porteous, that's it, true. Had that been a Rangers player come into that tackle, they'd have walked. Craig Thompson would have sent them off. It's as simple as that. So that was 2 big, but that's not why we didn't collect the 3 points. Don't get me wrong, you know, I mean, we had numerous chances. The game should have been done and dusted by half time, really. And I don't know, it's a bit concerning to me, as I said last night, Drew, that we've only scored 2 goals in 5 games. Hopefully we get onto the scoring trail again at the weekend against St Johnstone's, because we really need to start taking these chances now.
Listen, mate, I know what you're saying about quality and all the rest of it, but if you look at that chance Gareth McCauley had,
aye,
and the one James Tavernier had,
yeah.
And the other Morelos had, it's not about quality, mate, it's about doing the right thing, you know, for me.
It's about staying composed and putting the ball in the back of the net, isn't it, you know? And we haven't done that recently, you know. I mean, we had chances as well, you know, in some of the other games, you know. As I say, 2 goals in 5 games, isn't it? It's just not good enough, is it, True, you know?
No, I know, really.
I think the one for the Tavernier's chance, to me, is probably the best chance we've had in a long time. It looked as if he was running onto the ball, and by the time he got there, the ball was maybe slightly behind him from a shooting perspective, and it seemed to run between his legs. And you got to feel for him. But my goodness gracious, was that an opportunity for Rangers? Tavernier running onto the ball, round about the penalty spot. My goodness gracious. Unbelievable.
I'm sorry guys, I'm having problems here with mine as well. I couldn't come off mute there. Aye, I know what you're saying, Bridgeman Beef. if you look at the man, in particular Gareth McCauley missed, see if that was at the other end of the pitch, you'd say, what a clearance that was. How did he keep that out the net? You know what I'm saying? You know, it was unbelievable. You back with us, Fox?
I am indeed, mate.
What's your thinking on it?
It was a night of missed chances. There's no doubt about that. Even though, for me, Alfredo had a brilliant game, I think he's the best forward at the club, and probably the best player at the club all in. I don't know how we solve this problem. It'll need to be done in the transfer market. We need somebody to give him a hand in there. And unless we change the shape of the team, I don't know how we're going to fit another striker into Game of Horn. My idea on it would be not very much for the 4-3-3, but abandon the wingers, mate, and go to a diamond. And how about this for a wee bit of hang me? What about Alfredo being the number 10, sitting in behind two strikers in a 4-1-2-1-2, which is a diamond in the middle, Alfred at the top of the diamond. I think he could bring other players into the game and be a threat about the box himself. But we do need another striker in there to give him a horn out at least, you know.
Reg?
I think I've shocked him.
No. Fox has said similar in the past. I must admit, if you take Morelos and take away shall we say, his creativity, and most of the creativity when he's inside the box is for himself to create the chances. When he's outside the box, yes, I agree with Fox. He could be the man that can create the chances. So you could, in effect, use that part of his game if you could. From a creation perspective, but I think 90% of his game is his lone prowess on his own up there, battering lumps out of the centre halves. I don't know if he could be any section in the midfield where he could actually play for 90 minutes of the game. I think that's what I'm trying to say. He loves attacking. He loves being up there. His strengths in the way he handles defenders and turns them and twists them, and he has a go at goal. So I absolutely agree that he could, if he does bring people into the game. I've said this all the way along the line. He's one of the best players, if not the best player overall in Scottish football. He's got all the skills. He's got the strength. He's got strength of purpose. If he could put two goals into the net every 10 chances, he'll be an absolute miracle in our game. An absolute miracle. Obviously, he hasn't hit that part yet, so.
You know, I think that's a good point you make, Bridgeman. For me, he's the best striker in Scotland as well. If you look at them getting the money they did for Dumbelly, and then on Edward's scissors feet they paid $9 million for, I don't think Edward's half the player Morelos is. Rudy?
No, he certainly doesn't do the same kind of work that Morelos does. Morelos, in my opinion, is probably the hardest working player in our team. I mean, you saw how much work he put in last night. He brings players into the game, he creates chances, he holds the ball up well, he's really strong. He must be an absolute nightmare for centre-backs to play against, you know, and he never stops. That's another thing. His work rate never drops. He's just full 90-minute stuff, you know. I agree with you. He's the best forward in Scotland for me. Could he play as a number 10? Not really sure, but I'd like to see him try that position just for the sake of it, just to see whether he could or not. But he's certainly got the work ethic anyway. That's one thing the wee man's got. And it's like you say, you know, you see the money that the media are touting Dumbelly for, you know. If he was worth 40 million, what's Alfredo worth? I think he scored more goals this season than Dumbelly did in 2 seasons, you know what I mean? So that tells you a story in itself for me. But he's definitely top quality. I think, you know, in a couple of years' time, you know, he's still a young guy who's learning his trade. By the time he give him another 2 or 3 years, I think he'll be something really special. True, I really do.
I think so myself. He can keep it going. I kind of noticed. I don't know. I'm asking you. It's only me. I've kind of noticed a wee difference in his attitude last night as well. He tried not to get involved with the referee or anything like that, Foxy.
Aye, I did, mate. Aye, I thought his attitude was spot on last night. We're saying he's the best forward in Scotland, mate. is he a natural striker? That is the question for me. He does score goals for us. He started out as a midfielder, Alfredo, and he does most his good work in and around the box, mate. I'm just wondering if we can't afford, or we can't get a loan an attacking midfielder, that he could fill that position with Lafferty and another up front in front of him. Because he brings people into play all the time. He's strong on the ball outside the box. He can feed balls through. He lays balls off. And as a temporary thing, I think he could fill in there.
Are you saying, sorry, I mean, look, based on what Rudy was saying just a minute ago, if you took Morelos and had him playing for them across the city, they would put a valuation on him probably between 10 and 15 million straight away. That's what they do. The high value goes on to the player, and it's up to the player not to attain that. If it's already there, they put that down there, and that's what they're going to get from. So that's what I think they would do if they had him in their books. And we need to make sure that the press don't sort of bring that down, because the press will accept that if it's for Celtic. They won't accept it for Rangers. That's one of the problems we've got. We don't have any friends in the press that would big up our players. We just don't have it. I mean, we let that boy Windass go for buttons in reality. For buttons, really, truly. You know, in reality, with very, very cheap price compared to what other players go. They let that sad boy Scott, what do you call him, Scott Armstrong, is it? Stuart Armstrong, was £7.5 million. I'm sorry, he was never a £7.5 million player in his life. But they got £7.5 million for him.
What about the Morelos attitude last night, Bridge?
I think
temperance.
I think we were speaking about it. True, we have said he has to curb his enthusiasm, the over the top enthusiasm. Anyway, I thought he did a marvellous job in doing so. There's only once I thought I saw the young boy Porteous going over and saying something to him, and I think what we really need our players to go up and pull these people out of the way. Again, these players going up to Morelos and trying to wind him up while he's on the deck, all that crap. They need to get them out of the way and create a bit of space for the boy. Otherwise, it could just sort of come up again. But yeah, last night, excellent. A brilliant attitude, and it showed in his game. It did show.
What about yourself, Rudy?
I thought his attitude was top class last night. You know, it doesn't matter who he comes up against. They set out to harass the life out of him, you know, and try and put him off his game. You know, they know that he's got the reputation for having a bit of a hot temper, the wee man, you know, and I think that's probably a huge part of his game, you know. It's why he puts so much into it, True. So you can't really completely take that out of a player, but you've got to manage it, you know. You've got to be able to say to him, look, you know, we love your hard work and all that, Alfredo, but you've got to stay on the park. You're not used to sitting in the dressing room, you know. And I thought last night his attitude was absolutely brilliant. And I think it has been for a wee bit now. I think his attitude seems to have changed a wee bit this season. All right, he's kind of slipped a wee bit, we know that. But in general, I think his attitude's been great this season, no more so than last night, you know, because they were trying to wind him up last night, but he just wasn't biting, you know. We've got sort of 3 big games left to the end of the year, so he's going to need that. He's going to need to know how to deal with that, you know, when it happens to him.
Have you mentioned him earlier, mate, and I'd like to move on now. Ryan Jack, I thought he did a great game last night. What about yourself, Fox?
Aye, I thought he looked better than sitting defensive, as he normally does. I thought he got involved in a lot of the forward play. I thought he had a good game last night, mate. He broke up play in the middle of the pack, and especially in the first half, when Arfield was still in the park, and Koulibaly, who I've had a go at a lot, mate. I thought him, Jack and Arfield were absolutely very, very industrious last night. They never stopped harrying and chasing and winning the ball back. And I thought out of the 3, Jack was the better of the 3.
Aye, Bridgeman, yourself, Ryan Jack. Bridge.
His wife's probably been in and told me get the tea on through.
Alright, okay.
See, while you're in a wee break there, can I give a wee shout out to a couple of new listeners? It's well, hold on, I need to get the text back up. It's Courtney and Yvonne who are listening in Falkirk, and it's their first time listening to the show. I hope they enjoy it.
Well, hello, Courtney and Yvonne. A big hello from Hello.
Why? How do you manage to get all these women on the show then, Foxy? Sorry, I couldn't get off mute there, True. I'm sorry, I couldn't get off mute.
Aye. We're talking about Ryan Jack, Bridgeman. What do you think?
Oh, midfield-wise, out of all the midfield players that we've got, I think Ryan Jack's the best. I think he's a well-balanced player. You see that he loves to roam, he loves to pick the ball up, and he can run with the ball. I personally prefer him playing in the sort of midfield, sort of the defensive type role, but I'm not averse to him moving up a wee bit. I do think he needs to release the ball that wee bit quicker when he gets up there. But my goodness gracious, didn't he cover some ground last night and gets involved in nearly all the breakups? Super, and he covered back. What a great tackle! Got a good block in for one of the boys trying to get a shot in at goal against us last night. So I'm really pleased with him. I think he's our best midfield player, our best.
A lot of Rangers supporters don't fancy him, you know, there's a wee bit of a split between them, but I think his standing's rising, you know, in front of, you know, the Rangers support now. Rudy, you mentioned him in the first place.
Yeah. I think he had a cracking game last night. I think there's a real player in there, and I think the fact that we got him for nothing as well, True, you know, was a bit of a coup for us, really. I thought he was great last night. I think he's been played pretty well recently as Tay. I think, you know, he's not been the worst in even some of the games where he didn't play so well. But last night I just thought he was absolutely excellent. Broke the play up brilliantly, moved the ball forward at pace, even found a pass when he had to, you know. And as I say, to get a guy like that for free, I don't know, I know what you mean though, because I saw on social media, you know, one or two things about him that I didn't agree with at all, really, you know. And I think if we can keep Ryan Jack fit going forward into the second half of the season, I think he's going to be a big plus for us in the second half of the season. He's a kind of, for me, you'd have him on the team sheet. He'd be one of the first names in the team sheet every week, True. He's, as far as defensive midfield goes, he's probably the best defensive midfielder we've got, you know.
Yeah, look, I'm not averse to him playing in other parts of it. As far as I'm concerned, my preference is he's such a good player. I would prefer he was in the defensive mid role, and obviously we made better midfielders anyway. I would suggest, based on the way we've been talking tonight, but I think he could make a firm position for himself there. He's a wonderful player, a great exponent of the game. Played great for Aberdeen, was their captain, and was international cap. Obviously, he's at Rangers now. And as I said just a couple of minutes ago, the media in Scotland will not give any of our players any kudos at all. Nothing at all.
What did you think of the balance in the team last night, Fox?
I thought it was good. I thought we're attacking fullbacks, done their job. I thought Grezda helped out Barisic, and as usual, Candias helped out Tav, which gave us a good balance on the wings. The midfield three, as I said, mate, complemented each other with their hard graft and occasional wee bits of quality. And I disagree with Bridge, mate, on the defensive. I think Ryan Jack's wasted as a defensive midfielder. He's got a wee bit more to that in his game. I think in the Sunday game with Ross McCrory sitting being the block in front of the defence allowed Jack again to go forward, and he showed some signs of good football in there when he was released. And he's probably, as Rudy says, one of the first names on the team sheet. It's just finding him that regular berth and the one place to play him, mate. When you keep moving him from defence to further forward and then backwards all the time, give him a role in the team and leave him to play as he normally does, mate. I think he's been a great addition to the squad since we got him in.
He's a fabulous player. An absolutely fabulous player. Watch the way he plays. Watch the way he reads the game. And he does it well. He does it well, for sure.
That last-ditch tackle last night, Bridge.
Absolutely brilliant.
He was about to pull the trigger. What a tackle that was. That was brilliant.
When you've got someone that can patrol in front of the defence the way he can, without lunging into things, he picks the ball up, he uses the ball well, he can run the 20 yards required and release it. That's one of your problems. When you move him forward, he doesn't appear to release the ball the same. He holds on to it for an extra long time. I'm not saying he's rubbish when he gets up there, but he holds on to the ball too long, I think. He doesn't release the other players. He does a good game. He plays a good game no matter where you play him. He's that type of player. I would like him to be our defensive midfielder because he's a top quality in that area. And I would like at least their manager to pick 2 good midfielders to play in front of him. So if we got 2 midfielders, we are talking, we don't, because you're wanting Jack to play up there because he's one of the best midfielders. I'm looking for somebody better than Jack to play as an attacking midfielder.
But Jack is obviously better than Koulibaly. He's used to the ball, mate.
Agreed.
Koulibaly, as I keep saying, I've been slating him for a couple of weeks since he came back from injury. I didn't think he was good enough, but he showed plenty of endeavour last night. And Jack's got a bit more quality than Koulibaly and McCrory. And I think it's just a waste to have him sitting there picking the ball off the defence, mate, because we miss him in the centre of the park, I think.
I think Koulibaly last night, Fox, had a fairly good game compared to what we've got off him recently since he's come back from the injury. I think we'd said many times on here when he came back from injury, he certainly didn't look like the same player, and maybe it'll just take Koulibaly a few games to get back into the swing of things again. I agree with you as far as Jack's concerned, as compared to Koulibaly. I think he's got a bit more class than Koulibaly has. But Koulibaly showed plenty of energy for me last night, willing to get forward. Koulibaly did a lot of big runs off Koulibaly last night. I thought he had a fairly good performance, but Ryan Jack was the real standout for me in the midfield last night.
What about the balance in the team for you, Bridgeman?
I thought it looked good last night. Obviously, we've got the issue of the midfield because you've now got Arfield, who's allegedly injured. He may be okay for the weekend, I don't know. But Arfield is becoming an integral part of our midfield. If you follow what I mean, you're looking for 3 midfielders and one that'll stay up top, and Arfield is that guy. Not that he'll stay up there all the time, but he comes back, covers a lot of ground, and he likes to, whenever possible, get in front of the centre, shall we say, the forwards. And he makes himself very good, plays a good game. I thought last night, Koulibaly had played his best game for Rangers for quite a while. And maybe he's getting over that wee bit personal sort of family bereavement thing that he had. So maybe he's getting over that and he's starting to pick himself up again. And he might even have had a wee knock at the same time. So hopefully he can continue and keep that improvement. Because you've got some midfielder on your hands if he comes good. I mean, just think back to, 2 or 3 months ago we were saying how good he was. He covers all the ground. He's a one that'll rumble them up at the top as well, Excuse me. I think he's a smashing player.
He was on the end of a few meaty tackles last night. I'm asking about the balance last night, Rudy. How did you see it?
I thought the balance was pretty good. I think on the left side of the park, we seem to have kind of cross. I mean, we know about Tav and Candace, when they two clicked, they clicked really well. And a lot of the work that we'd done in the run-up, certainly the first few months of the season, a lot of it came down the right-hand side between Tav and Candace, We've always kind of struggled for the same kind of thing on the left. Well, I think we've got that now with Grezda and Barisic for me. They two boys have already played together, played in the same team, they know each other really well. And I think as the season goes on through, I think if we could keep the two fit, I think that would be my first choice. But then I'm thinking Kent, when Kent comes back, he's not going to be fully match fit, obviously, right away or anything like that. He's picked up an extra injury after his wee run out there a couple of weeks back. So I don't know how long it'll be. Maybe it'll be after December, January time, after January maybe, before he's back again. But for me, the balance looked much, much better, with Barisic. I mean, Barisic is fundamental. He is now, really. I think he's got such a sweet left foot on him. And, he's a gemmy left foot. His crosses into the box are superb. So if we can keep Barisic fit and Grezda gets more used to playing on that side of the park in front of him, I think the balance is going to be much, much better.
I mean, don't you think we're building a good team?
I think so. Bridgeman. It's keeping them all in the park now, isn't
absolutely,
it?
Absolutely. Or even the ones we bring in, anyone we bring in, and I'm including the boys that we've got out on loan because they'll need to get in. I would imagine when they come back, they need to get a wee chance to see if they can compare in any way, shape or form with the guys that we've got. But that we have to, anybody we bring in now from another team, it's got to be a better quality than we've got. It's got to be a higher quality.
Well, we said that.
No matter what the position,
Yeah, but I agree with you, Bridge. We said that, in previous shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as the signing window goes, it's not about adding quantity anymore. We've got a squad now.
Agreed.
It's about adding quality, and as opposed to maybe going out and bringing 6, 7 players in, 5 players in, whatever the case might be, if it's only a case of adding a couple of players, 2, maybe possibly 3 players of quality, you're not looking for squad players anymore, because we've got that. You're now looking for players who's going to improve in certain areas of the park and what you've already got. So it's quality for now on, isn't it, really?
Absolutely, bud. I mean, that's the second game, isn't it? We started against Hamilton. We started with no loan players. And last night we started with 1.
Yeah.
So that's a big improvement, a really big improvement. And we're still up there at the top, near the top of the league. We're second in the league. Amazing. That's, I think that the manager seems to be doing a tremendous job with the players that he's got at his disposal, to be honest. I have to say to you, I'm so happy that Barisic is back. I thought he makes a huge difference to the defence.
Oh, he does.
A wee bit balance and so on and so forth. A really good player.
He's real quality, Barisic, isn't he, that left-back position? It doesn't matter who you put in there if he's injured. They're never going to do the same kind of job that Barisic does. And Andy Halliday, for me, hasn't let us down ever when he's played in that position, Bridgeman. And Flanagan at times has just looked like a fish out of water when he plays in the left. But Barisic...
Absolutely.
He's a natural left back. That's his position, Bridge. He's got a great left foot. He's got athletic. He can get up and down the park. It's fundamental to us that we keep him fit, so we can keep a constant back forward going forward.
I've said all along that when he came back, Halliday, he has to hit it to prove, and he's proved it. He's a squad player. I think he knows he's never going to be, not going forward anyway, a first team player. There would need to be quite a dramatic lift in his game to be able to do that, but he'll never let us down. You could put him in left mid if necessary, or even in left back as a cover for Barisic. And John Flanagan, given the fact that he's what he is and how he's been, I think that Flanagan would be a good cover for Tavernier at right back. So you're not wasting anything. You've got 2 guys in the squad there that won't let you down. Unless, of course, they make a complete utter screw up of it. But in general, they're going to come in, they're going to give their best, and they're going to be all right. They'll stand up for themselves.
I think it'd be interesting to see Flanagan playing, get a wee run at right back, just to see, how much he would improve. His performances would improve. But even at that, Bridge, I don't think you'd get off of Flanagan what you get off of Tav. Going forward, Tav's like a proper. Attacking fullback. Flanagan isn't. Flanagan's maybe a kind of traditional fullback, isn't he?
He's an athlete, isn't he, Tavernier? Even when he's not playing on top of his game. Last night, that pass I'm berating him for it. Didn't know whether he meant it or he didn't mean it, whether he missed it or didn't he miss it, if you follow what I mean. He must have ran for very close to his 18-yard line and went all the way up the middle and followed that up. Just amazing. A real good athlete. Great engineer.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, guys, why I was asking about the balance, I don't know if it's just me or what, but I thought there was an emphasis on the left-hand side last night. I don't think Candias and Tavernier were as effective as they usually are last night. I thought the ball was played down the left the majority of the time. Now, whether that was down to the boss's instructions or whatever, I'm not quite sure. But I tell you one thing, Grezda had Whittaker and toast last night. He really did.
He certainly did. He absolutely roasted him a few times through. You're right. I was quite impressed with Grezda last night. I think he had such a good game. And the possibility is, just as I said earlier, there moving forward, there's my left-hand side for me. With the exception of possibly Kent. when Kent's back fully fit again, you know. But even then, you know, if Grezda hits a proper run of form, gives you some real performances in that position, yeah, you know, would you really take him out of it, you know? Because to me, as I said, with him and Barisic on that left-hand side now, the balance of the team looks much better to me, much better too.
Do you think that's the strongest option now, Fox, Barisic and Grezda on the left-hand side as opposed to Tav and Candeias?
Well, like I think most teams kind of sussed us out when Barisic was out, mate, that most of our attacks would start down the right-hand side, or the ball would be shifted to the right-hand side to bring Tav and Candeias into play. We didn't have that option on the other side when Andy Halliday was there, and he didn't have much in front of him either, with Kent being out injured, Middleton just finding his way into the team. Grezda wasn't playing at the time, so the left-hand side we had no balance at all. Mm-hmm. But since he's came back in the last couple of games, you notice it right away. It gives us the other option of going down the other side. And we did go to the left-hand side for variation quite a lot last night. And I think it worked, especially in the first half.
Bridgeman, do you think we're stronger on the left now?
I think it's proven that we had a weakness in the left when Barisic was out, and Grezda for that matter. And those two coming back, particularly Barisic. Barisic at left back is a really, really good player. And it gives you can see a wee bit more balance coming into the defence. And you saw a wee bit of that when Andy Halliday was playing there with his left foot, natural left-footed, can clear the ball properly. But I think Barisic is maybe a step or two above Andy Halliday quality-wise. And Grezda just fitting in there on the left. Yes, I think you've now seen a bit of strength down the left. Obviously, you mentioned Ryan Kent. The manager's going to have some selection problems when that boy gets fit, because he's a fantastic player as well. So I wish him luck. But yeah, I do agree. It's made a difference to the left-hand side for sure.
Rudy?
Aye, big difference. Having Barisic back, you know, I thought he played quietly but fairly well in these games up until he got injured. I think we're just starting to see now in the last couple of games how good the boy actually is. He's got an absolute wonder left foot for me. He's crossing into the box is absolutely top class. You know, it's brilliant. He's a proper left back, you know. So left side of the park for me. I would keep going with Grezda and Barisic just now through until such times as it looks like maybe it's not working and you need to make a change there. I think the longer the two of them play together, the better their partnership will get. Grezda I was pleased with last night. I'll be pleased with his last couple of performances actually. I think he's starting to come onto a game, and he was out for quite a while, so he was. So he didn't have much football at the start of the season. He was out for quite a while with that injury that he had, you know, but he's highly spoken in Albania and other places like that, you know, he's really well thought. He's got great pace as well, so he's very direct, Grezda T, and he likes a wee dribble, you know. I thought last night he was excellent, Grezda. So for me, Barisic and Grezda, that's my left side every week if the two of them's fully fit.
Is it stronger than the right hand side, do you reckon?
Well, I think I would say it certainly was last night, because I think Candeias and Tav played well enough last night. I think they tried really hard, you know, they put a lot of effort into it. I just think it worked better on the left-hand side for me last night, and it's true what you say, true. A lot of what we did good work that we done did good on the left-hand side last night, didn't it, you know? So is that going to be a sign of things to come, you know? Two really good players now on our left-hand side. Gives us a good option. We can go from on one side of the park to the other quickly if we have to, you know, and you're not losing anything, you know, because of the players that are playing that position, that left side of the park now.
I think so as well. Bridge mentioned him there, and a few of the guys in the lobby are mentioning him as young Kent. He's a low knee, and I think some of his own here. Certainly I would rather be playing players who are committed to Rangers, Fox. I don't know about you.
I think out of the loan players, mate, I think we've had good value at his loan. I think he helped tremendously in the European run. I thought he done well at the start of the season after a few games to settle in. But my crib between the left-hand side and right-hand side through our team up front is none of them get in the box enough. And that's a big problem to Rangers, I think. You can tell by their goal scoring things. I think they've scored about 2 to 3 goals each between Candeias, Kent and Middleton as well, and Grezda, mate. They aren't contributing enough in the box for me. Mm-hmm. And I'm beginning to think it's time to go without them, honestly. Both our fullbacks can cross in for deep on the run. They're both good at putting balls into the box. And sometimes I think that when the two of them are in front of Barisic and Tav, mate, it tends to shut down the room they've got out there. Mm-hmm. And what we need is players up front in the box, and that isn't happening with any of our wingers at the present time, and I think that's how Alfredo's struggling as well.
Would you not play with any wide men at all then, Fox?
No, that's what I said earlier, I'd play a diamond, mate. Right. And they without them, leave her attacking down the wings to our full-backs. They're very, very good at it. And as I said, see up front, I would have Alfredo outside the box with Lafferty and one other in the box. Even if it's one of our young players, mate, I don't care. We've got to get people in the box to score goals, because at the moment our midfield isn't contributing, so the people up front must score goals.
Can the reverse not be true? That we need to bring in midfielders that can score? Does that not work out either?
But
the midfield we've got, I'm saying that the midfield we've got at the moment aren't scoring, and neither are the forwards. So maybe we should help keep the forwards, because the forwards are playing all right, they're just not putting the ball in the net. So maybe we'd be able to put a midfielder that can score, have him in there to help out the forwards. No?
No, honest to God, I think Alfredo outside the box and then moving into the box when play goes there, he's quite easily shut down, mate, at times. When you've got two centre-halves onto a lone striker, Alfredo could play anywhere across the middle, mate, just outside the box with two strikers inside. That's what I honestly think. I've been watching us the last few games, and for all the crossing in for both wings we do, there's nobody in the middle to pick them up, so I would abandon the wingers, mate, and go with a diamond and two strikers up front with Alfredo sitting outside the box, mate.
Controversial, Foxy, Rudy?
I think, I don't know, we seem to favour the wings, don't we? I mean, we've got Grezda, Kent, Candeias, Jamie Murphy, Glenn Middleton, who are all wide players, you know. Well, the possibility is that maybe one of the boys could play, but maybe if you could put Grezda in beside Lafferty, maybe in front of Alfredo playing outside the box, as Fox is saying. But in all honesty, I don't see that happening anytime soon. I think the manager's pretty sure how he wants to play, what his formation is, the system that he wants to go with, and I think he'll pretty much stick to that. You know, I think we've seen when he's changed to that, you know, some of the games, you know, in the first half of the season, we've seen when he's changed and he's went to like maybe a 3 at the back and stuff like that, that it hasn't really worked for us, you know. So I think he'll pretty much stick to it. I think you'll see a change of personnel occasionally, you know, see a more settled team now, I would hope, that European adventures over and done with for another season. But I think he'll pretty much stick to his system, just with the occasional change of personnel. I don't think, you know, I don't think he would have brought so many wide men into the team. Had a plan to sort of change his system to something like what Fox is talking about.
Aye. But anyway, if you want to join us, it's 0141 356 1972, or you can Skype into rangersradio.online and Fox will bring you in. I get what you're saying, Fox, but having said that, you know, the wingers, you know, they're putting plenty of crosses in, they're doing their job, so I think the problem lies in the middle. I don't think directly and squarely on Morelos' shoulders. I think as somebody, you know, a few of you guys were saying is about the midfield need to be up there and support him, particularly when he seems to be playing his Todd, you know, in most games,
Well, the problem is at the moment, and we've got, I think it's 3 games left before we can bring MD in through, we need to change something. We've scored 2 goals, I think, in 5 games. Something isn't working up front. It was fresh and new when we started this 4-3-3 at the start of the season. We were scoring pretty regularly, but teams have sussed us out. I just think we've got to change things and get people into the box. We haven't got the midfielders at this present time that's going to get into the box all the time. So the obvious solution to me is you change the shape up front. You're still basically a 4-3-3. You still get 4 at the back, 3 at the middle, and 3 up front. But it's just bringing them more into the middle of the park to allow the room for our full-backs to go forward and get boys into the box.
So would you keep Foxy? Would you keep the same personnel-wise? Would you keep the same personnel up front? So you're 3 at the bottom instead of Morelos being up front.
Why no try something different? Why no have?
No, I'm asking you. But I'm only asking you. So if you don't have Morelos up front when the balls are coming into the box, who's going to be in there? I'd
play Lafferty in another striker.
Oh, you would put Lafferty in. That's all I was asking.
The thing is about Alfredo, if you watch him now, he's stepped up a gear this year. He's bringing people into play is absolutely 100% better than it was last year. But in saying that, the work he does, as soon as he passes the ball, mate, he then goes into the box and doesn't allow the centre-halves to pick him up as much. And that's how I just think he would be better off in that position, where he's no got 2 centre-halves breathing down his neck all the time.
Rudy, you want to jump in?
I can see where the Fox is coming from. And it's maybe something that, we could try for the sake of experimentation, and we'll see how it works out. It could work out really well. I do agree with the fact that we need more players into the box when we're attacking. A lot of times you look at Alfredo and he does a lot of work on his own, and sometimes, in previous games, he's looked like he's been miles away from the midfield, and as much as he's a great player and, I love the amount of effort that he puts into a game, he certainly needs a bit of help. We can't just leave the whole goal scoring thing down to Alfredo. There was a journalist said just a couple of weeks back there or so, one of the pressers, well, Alfredo doesn't score, it looks like Rangers don't win, and that seems to have been proven true recently, unfortunately. So it's incumbent upon the other forwards to get into the box, midfielders to get into the box and help Alfredo out. As I said, I don't think the system will change. I'd be very surprised if it did too.
I think once you lost Starfield, you saw that's the one that would get in the box to help. But when he goes off, you start to struggle a wee bit. I'm talking about from a midfield perspective, because we're short of midfielders, aren't we, with the injuries and things like that. So you've not got a Dorans that you can bring on that might make a difference for you,
Now, we found Marcel at the start of the season. We were talking about on the show, Bridgeman, how many midfielders we had. We seemed to have a whole load of them, didn't we? Now we're kind of lighting that department now,
absolutely.
Midfielders go, and, well, I don't know, we've said often enough in the last few weeks on here, we certainly need a real attacking option coming from the midfield. Arfield's sort of filling that position just now. I don't know what the story is with this tight hamstring, how long that's going to keep him out for, but I think that'll probably be a bit of a miss for us. But is that something we're going to look to rectify in January? I would hope so. I would hope so. I mean, there's a few rumours about 1 or 2 players, so I would certainly hope we'll try and rectify that problem in January. But the midfield has to start contributing much more than it is. You can't just leave it all down to Alfredo,
I think the thing for me is, last night I heard some punters talking about it as well, is, if the game had been reversed last night and Hibs were all Euros, we'd have come away a lot happier with one each, with nothing each, or a 1-pointer at Easter Road. But I'm starting to say to myself, you go to up there. I said that last season. I thought Celtic were there for the taking last season, and I think even more so this season. So this team of yours has got to be pushing itself. It's got to be determined to get to the top and to stay there, Fox. I think Rudy's got a point. I think you've all got a point about something has to change. We can't be that dominant in games. Hamilton, I remember thinking back, if Candace hadn't scored early, that was another draw. It came off a deflection. It wasn't actually a well-worked goal, you know, for me. But I think we need to get more determination about us in the team and realise the importance of results and continuing results and grinding out results. And when you get chances like that, you must take them, Foxy. Fox.
I know we need to take chances when they come. But you were talking about Celtic are now a problem at the moment. It's other teams. It's other teams have got to score against. And that's one of the things where we continue. What Steven Gerrard tends to do now, mate, he keeps the formation the same and just changes personnel, hoping that works. And it isn't working at the present time, so he needs to change something else other than personnel. He takes off Grezda, brings on Middleton sort of thing, or he'll take off Koulibaly and bring on Ingwe, but the actual shape of the team doesn't change. So if you've got problems with the shape of the team and it's not working for you, I'm not saying it didn't work last night, I thought we were very good last night, but it's in other games, as you mentioned, the Hamilton game, that was the same. It wasn't working. We started off really, really well, made tons of chances within the first 15 minutes. We could have been 3 or 4 up. But then the other team got a grip of us, mate, and defended better against us. And again, we make substitutions that just people fall into the same tactical situation all the time, or positions. And if the team have sussed you out, then adding another player with 20 minutes to go or something isn't going to change it much for me. You've got to change more than just the personnel when you're making substitutions, unless it's an injury, you know.
Personally, last night I had to throw on Lafferty rather than Glenn Middleton, but do you think we need to get a steel spine there, you know, about us? And I'm talking about character, I'm not talking about the middle of the team, Rudy.
Aye, I agree with you, and I agree with you about Lafferty as well. I thought that you're chasing a goal to get the 3 points, and I think possibly I would have chucked Lafferty on as opposed to Middleton too. I totally agree with you. I thought that at the time through. I think so. I think it's something we're going to need to develop in that midfield. You know, you need a good spine of a team. Any good team that you look at through, they've got a right good spine. You can go through their centre backs, goalkeeper, work through their midfield to their forwards. You know, they've got a really good spine in their team, and that's what we need to get. You know, but a point that we've made repeatedly is that he's had one transfer window so far, Steven Gerrard. He's had to get, almost a full team in. He shipped about 24 out the door, 23, 24 players. Has either gone out on loan or they've gone completely. That's a huge turnaround for us. Huge. And it's not about that anymore now, though, because, as I said, he's got the squad now. What it is quality, and that hopefully in the next 2 transfer windows, January and then in the summer again, hopefully he'll rectify the areas of the park where he thinks he needs more quality. But you need a really good spine in your team to start off with. That's what you build a winning team on, true.
Aye, but I'll be joined by a close personal friend of mine, Blue Shadow, who seems to be breaking up a bit. We're getting a bit of feedback or something off you, Shadow. Evening.
Evening, bud. How we doing?
Aye, okay, mate. Yourself?
Doing away, mate. I just came on for once to agree with Fox. I think he's got his spot on there. It's not working really at the minute. And the main thing is that if you're playing 4-3-3, the fact is that if you've got one player on the, say, for example, say you've got Grezda coming down the left-hand side, then Candeias has got to get his backside into the box. And unfortunately for us, I don't think Candeias is the man for doing that. He puts in a wonderful bit of work rate and all the rest of it, he works back, he's fantastic at all that sort of stuff. So he's great he was great in Europe against teams like Villarreal and stuff like that. But if you're looking for somebody to get into the box and get you goals against the teams like Hamilton and Motherwell and all the ones that are going to come to Ibrox and park the bus, I don't think he's your player for me.
He was the only one that scored against Hamilton at last weekend there, Blue. So
I know it. Yeah, absolutely, mate. But I think they're going to be a bit rare goals from Candeias. He's not going to get you that many And unless he can change that, I think you've got to look at changing this. You've got to look at changing your system if you're going to play him that way. Because I've always been a fan of two strikers in the box. You know, call me old fashioned, but I was like, you know, the big in the little end.
So what would you do, Blue? Well, or rather, should I say old fashioned? Would you go a 4-4-2 then?
You could go 4-4-2 diamond, or drop back the like I say, take wee Morelos and play him in the withdrawn striker role, as Fox was suggesting earlier. But I don't think Lafferty on that left hand side will work for us. And I say with the three in midfield, you've got the same problem, you know, especially if these teams will push five up into midfield. When you get against 5 against 3, even if you've got superior quality, you're going to struggle.
Yeah, I agree.
So you've got.
Sorry, mate. I thought you were finished there.
Oh, that's all right. You carry on. I was just going to say you've got to play. You've got to react to what the opposition are going to do against you. You can't keep playing the same formation and then expect it to work. You know, that's getting back into the Warburton era. Keep playing. You know, doing Plan A better and all that sort of nonsense. And I think we've really got to work. You've got to work at changing it to suit what the opposition are doing against you. I mean, even these wee teams can change formation 3 or 4 times within a game to react to what we're doing.
You know, I was thinking about your comparison with Warburton there, mate, and it's been creeping into my thinking lately, you know. But Bridgeman, come in here and sort these two out. Tell them how it should be played. I mean, that's a simple solution. If Crest is on the ball, you're looking for Candeas to get into the box. You're looking for Tavernier possibly to get into the box, and vice versa. You know, I think it's possibly a solution, but I don't know the answer, Bridge.
Oh, the guys are saying that in essence. If you're going to play wide men, the wide men at some point or other are going to have to go in and have a shot themselves, and they have done. Grez has scored a couple of goals. Candeas has scored a few goals, and even coming from fullback, Tavernier's put some stuff in with his. I think our problem is that right at this moment, none of them, you can take a mix of anything, none of them are really on form in front of goal. They're in form, we're getting plenty of possession and in dangerous areas. Against Hamilton, that could have been 11, 12, 13-1, 13-0 easily, and nobody could have batted an eyelid. We were that far ahead of them. Against Hibs there, 3 or 4-0, no problem at all. Nobody would have said nothing, because that's how far ahead of them we were. We just couldn't put the ball in the net. Loads of chances.
I think you're talking about that, Bridgeman. You're talking about loads of chances and dangerous positions. Do we not need somebody who's just willing to put their laces through the ball at times?
Oh, please.
Seriously?
Yeah, have a shot. Have a go. You know, you see all the time, I watch all the highlights programmes, you see players taking a shot. I mean, I've seen some fantastic goals scored from the edge of the box by players. You know, I'm talking about, like, you know, Dundee, you know, Hamilton. I won't finish that song after, I don't want to get you into trouble, but you know what I'm saying. You know, there's boys scoring goals. I mean, the boy at, what do you call him, at Kilmarnock, used to play for Dundee. I've forgotten his name now. He's at Kelly just now. He scored an absolute cracker about 2 weeks ago for the edge of the box. I mean, these players are no shy of taking a shot for the edge of the box, but our players seem loath to do that. They want to play the perfect pass into the perfect area, in the box, score a perfect goal. Just have a go, have a shot occasionally. You know, you'll get a deflection every now and again. The ball might end up in the back of the net, as opposed to trying to walk the ball into the net by scoring the perfect goal. I agree with you 100%. You know, we said the other night, what will we give for a George Alberts right now? You know, somebody will have a good crack at it, you know. We're certainly missing that, because there didn't seem to be any of the midfield players willing to give that a go, you know.
George Alberts will do me, Rudy. He'll do me, pal.
Me too, Bridgeman, me too.
See, to me, I know the coaching is taking a bit of that out of the game. I think they're being instructed what to do when they're in a particular area and they've got a ball. You know, but I say, sometimes the solution is just, here's a sight of goal, put your boot through the ball, Fox.
I'd agree with that. That is something that is badly missing for our style of play, is shooting from outside the box. I don't know if it's down to true that maybe players, the packed defences that we are playing against, that players are a wee bit hesitant to shoot because of the bodies in front of them. They don't think they've got a clear view of goal. I don't know if that comes into their mind. But it's been a long time since we've seen a decent shot from outside the box, I would think. Tav's capable. Tav's capable of it. And I think Barisic is probably capable of it as well. But it's not a thing that's in our game at the moment.
But it's not that long ago with Tavernier taking shots from virtually every angle of the park from about 20 to 25 yards and was very good at it, scored a lot of goals. And he doesn't do it anymore. It's just weird. It's just weird. Down to it, maybe, I don't know if it's true that said about maybe the coaching it's done. It's maybe even yourself, Fox. Maybe we're just being coached different and they don't want us to do that. I don't know.
Good. We've got two, our manager and our assistant manager were one of the best strikers of the ball for outside the box, mate, you know.
Yeah,
I'd have thought that was the first thing they would be looking for in a midfielder, you know.
Well, isn't that one of the bonuses of getting someone like Barisic? He likes to have a shot from round about the corner of the box. But then, I think just a minute ago you mentioned the fact that a lot of the times we're playing against 10 men. You know, and when we're running forward, there's 10 men, there's 2 banks of 5 you've got to get past. And the shots don't always go straight, you know. You don't sort of get... You're looking for somebody to have a shot. You might get a deflection and gets in the net. That's what you're really wanting. And many of them, please, many of them. If you don't have a shot, it'll not happen.
Shadow.
Yes, mate.
Are we shooting enough?
No, absolutely not. I mean, Gresta had a couple of shots at the last night, but none. I wouldn't exactly call it any of them quality, that's for sure. But as I say, Koulibaly, he tried to have a shot and it sort of trundled along the ground and into the goalie's hands.
That seems to be a common thing, though. I've noticed that with Arfield as well. Sometimes I think he's wearing carpet slippers when he's shooting. You know it.
The only one that seems to be able to hit a ball with any sort of decent venom seems to be Morelos again. But then it comes back to the old thing. You're expecting Morelos to do everything. And can he be in the 6-yard box and striking from just outside at the same time?
What Shadow said there is absolutely true. That we appear to be quite dependent on Morelos doing his magic, shall we say, and getting goals. And you know, when he makes the chances and he has the shots and they don't go in, you get a bit, shall we say, after 2 or 3, you start to think to yourself, he's off form. He's shooting. I mean, everything else is good. He's playing inside the box. He's beating the man, or he rips the ball off the man. All that's really, really good. But for some reason, I'll say this with a couple of doubts in it, because he's brought some great performances out the last 3 times we played against Aberdeen, against Dundee, against Hamilton, and against that mob yesterday. I think all 3 goalkeepers had a tremendous game against us. They were blocking all the shots that were coming in. So, other than that, I think we're doing very, very well. We'll get no luck, or we need that wee change that a lot of folk have said. And maybe Fox is right. Maybe if you pull Morelos back a wee bit, if you stuck Lafferty up front, is he going to work as a sort of a solo person up front, or is he going to be some sort of, shall we say, pawn that can be moved around, things like that? We saw him against who did he play against now? Against Hamilton, he missed 4 good chances. But if he could get the ball and put the ball back to someone like Morelos, who is playing just behind him, setting it up for him, you might see a big difference. Might be right.
Anyway, we seem to have lost through there for a bit, so we'll go to a wee tune and we'll be straight back again.
Okay, on mute.
And welcome back there. I'm afraid we've lost Drew, so we'll just need to soldier on. Going back to last night's game, I have read a lot of reports today. I've listened to people on the radio discussing two of the major topics last night. Both decisions by the referee, Craig Thompson, have been, what's the right word for it, have been disputed, and most of the arguments that's come out is Craig Thompson was wrong on the Porteous tackle and the penalty. What's your views on that, Rudy?
100% agree. I watched the game today again, and it was two big calls in the game, and he got them both wrong. You know, I read earlier somebody saying that he should have been put out to pasture by now. He probably should be. Thompson's though, he's a dreadful referee, but then there isn't many that is good in Scotland. But back to last night's game. Two really big calls. I don't agree with what Steven Gerrard said in the post-match press conference, or his post-match interview. He said he didn't have a gripe about the decision as far as the penalty goes. I disagree with him 100%. I watched it again. I watched it about 4 or 5 times last night, and then I watched it again today. It was a penalty every single day of the week. The boy moves his arm out and up to deflect the ball away from its direction, heading towards goal. It's a penalty every day of the week. The tackle by Porteous on Koulibaly. Had a Rangers player done that, Fox, he'd have been off the park. He would have got an immediate red card. He comes in for the back, and he should have been booked before that, actually, you know. So that should have actually been his second yellow card and should have been off the park. But I would have gave a straight red for that. He comes in from behind, gets absolutely nowhere near the ball. Koulibaly's running full pelt, and he just absolutely swipes the legs away for Koulibaly. It was a bad tackle. It was a red card for me. Two big shouts. He got both wrong.
Now, the reason I'm bringing that up was because Rangers get fined £6,000 today by the SFA because we made remarks about Hugh Dallas, mate. Now, I don't know if
not Hugh Dallas. Not Hugh Dallas, was it?
I thought it was Dallas, was it? No,
Willie Collins.
You said Hugh Dallas.
Oh, Willie
Collins.
So,
right, okay.
And the Rangers made the statement that they didn't think that more or less they were getting a fair rub of the green half of referees. And for that, those two decisions in that game last night, even the boys on BT said they were both penalty and sending off.
It tells you something, Fox, when even Neil Lennon came out and said Porteous should have been sent off. He admitted it after the game when he was asked. Do you think?
How can a referee clear view of that both situations make the wrong call?
The referee was in a perfect position. I watched it again today. For both incidents, he got a full, proper view of both incidents. How he could have called them two so badly wrong, it's just, I don't get it. I don't understand, Fox. I really, really don't understand.
I don't think he got it wrong. I think he deliberately cheated. You look at that, when it's in the lobby now, if you get a look at it, he never went anywhere near that ball. He saw eyes for the player only, and he leathered the player. Absolutely leathered him. And the referee, I don't know what distance away, maybe 5-10 yards. Right there, he sees it. Right there. Unbelievable.
Right at it, Bridge. He's looking right at it when it happens.
Shocking. Just shocking. And to say we'll give a year, and not only that young player got up and walked away as if nothing was going to happen. Right? And then he's sort of sneering at the referee and laughing, you know.
It's easier, Bridge, not to give Rangers the decision because they know fine well the referees that there won't be much said about it.
But that's shocking.
Whereas if they give the decision, all the media and everything, it'll be there, and the people will be commenting on it, and that it was a wrong decision. They'll be getting lambasted in the media. So it's easier for them just not to give Rangers a decision.
There was a wee snippet I picked up on Follow. And it was just a bit of commentary on that, just on that incident, and they were laughing, and they knew that the boy Porteous should have been off the park. I took him right out. Look at that, and they were laughing about it. It might have been funny at the time for them, I don't know, but that's nothing short of disgraceful. At the same time, this is going on. This type of thing's going on We're not getting the penalty, which should have been a penalty and possibly a yellow card, maybe even a red for deliberate handball. I don't know. But that's most assuredly a red card. 100% sure a red card.
Yeah.
If anybody's can say that that's not a red card, he went for the ball, blah, blah, blah. No way did he go for the ball. No way in this earth.
Well, the thing is for me, Bridgeman, just before that, Ross McCrory had been fouled a couple of strides before that when the ball broke to Koulibaly, and Craig Thompson gave us the advantage because the ball breaks to Koulibaly. But Porteous, when he makes the tackle, Craig Thompson must see that his body's behind. His body is actually just behind Koulibaly before he makes the swipe with the two legs off the ground. It was a definite sending off. And for that man to make that decision was totally wrong. What's your view on it, Shadow? Then I'll bring in Jimmy.
Well, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same thing that I've been saying since it happened. I've thought my opinion hasn't changed one jot since we've put in the complaint about that we've just been fined for. Excuse me. Now, as I said, what I said on the night, I was wrong that we were already taking them towards the Court of Arbitration for sport. That was for something totally different. But I think we should come back to throw this back to the SFA and appeal it and keep pushing it. And if we don't get what we want out of the SFA, then take them to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Because if we back down now, there's no point in making the complaint in the first place. And we need to take this as far as we can, even if we lose it and it costs us a few quid for me. And just make these guys that we're not going to take this anymore, and we're going to take every decision as far as it goes until you do something about the standard of refereeing in Scotland. Because as I've said before, if this continues, then all these loan players that we are getting up from England, we won't get them anymore because it'll reach a stage of players that I'm not going to send my player up there to get his legs broken.
Mm-hmm. You know, there's another thing, guys, that young boy Porteous, he tried to take Morelos out of the game when Morelos made that lovely break that ended up setting Candeas up to cross the ball for Tavernier. And when Morelos just released the ball to give it to Tavernier, what do you call him, the big Effie Ambrose took Morelos right out of the game as well. So this boy Porteous tried to take Morelos out of the game, but he spun him. Effie Ambrose took Morelos out of the game, and the referees was there, saw it, never said anything, no booking, no nothing. And I think that's just, well, what is it to say? We're being refereed to a different standard. It's nothing short of disgraceful.
Nobody's arguing with that, Bridge, but what do you do about it?
Well, we don't know, do we? The board have done something the last time. You look the way Rangers are being treated. Morelos blows a kiss at a player. Well, God Almighty, what are you going to do if somebody blows a kiss at them? We'll send them off. And then you see a tackle like that, and you think to yourself, what's the most offensive thing you could do? Is that no more injury prone for a player than blowing a kiss? Blowing a kiss is part of the game. It's part of, it's about saying you're rubbish. Running past the player saying you're rubbish. You're winding them up. That's part of the game. That's thuggery. That's no part of the game. Sorry,
anyway, we'll bring in Jimmy. How are we doing, Jimmy?
He knows what he's talking about.
Evening, guys. How you all doing?
Jimmy boy.
Hi, Jimmy.
What's your thoughts on anything, Jimmy?
Cheating, mate. They cheated us, didn't they, again? That's the only word to use for it. Cheating, Fox. This is what's going to happen now is, we lost for, we never put an appeal in, but we were fined £6,000. And every decision, I just can't believe what I watched. Blatant penalty, 3 ferocious tackles on Rangers players, Porteous screaming in Fred's face. And by the way, if Fred had done that, he'd have been booked or maybe sent off. Effie Ambrose, dirty rat, fellow ex-puddle drinker. This is what we're going to be up against now, guys. And I believe I'm the same with Shadow there. Look, we need to take this as far as we can. Because, the puddle drinkers done it when they never get the infamous penalty, if you remember. And they decided they wanted clarification, as they called it, about why the referee made that decision. and there was nothing, no big fine given to them yet. When we appeal, thing that it's a £6,000 fine. That was as blatant a penalty as you'll ever see in your life. And I know Stevie Gerrard said after the game that he thought it was a shoulder, but I think after he saw it again, he'll probably decide it was a blatant penalty. He was right what he said about Porteous. What a dirty man he is, huh? It was nothing wanted to do apart from kick Rangers players off the park, same as Ambrose. Disgusting decisions again by Thompson. And look, guys, it's not going to be long before we get Gollum as a referee again for the. And don't be surprised if he's named for the game against them at Ibrox, because I'm fearful that day, because I think that the referees now have got in for us. The conspiracy theories are all out there now, guys, and I don't want to keep using it, but that was blatant cheating last night. Cheating. There's no other word for it. The referee cheated us out of a result last night, and it was absolutely scandalous to watch.
Jimmy, see, as far as the £6,000 fine goes for the SFA, I'd fight that, like Blue Shadow said there. I'd fight it every single step of the way. I'd keep appealing it. I'd keep pushing back on it. Because this season alone, we've had Rodgers, McInnes, Clark, and Lennon. Every single one of them come out lambasting referees, and nothing has happened. Yep. Yet we speak out about an absolutely disgraceful decision by Wally Collum.
Yep.
A disgraceful decision, and end up with, what was it, 5 charges and a £6,000 fine? It's a joke. It's laughable, and it shows you the agenda of the SFA.
Of course it is.
And their Celtic supporting compliance officer as part of the whole thing.
Blue, we're getting a wee bit of feedback after you, mate. Could you go on mute when you're not speaking, please? I think we're missing the point here, mate. The biggest bulk of the fine was the Rangers statement saying more or less they'd been cheated for years. Yeah. The Rangers must have known what they were doing when they issued that statement. No, but that's the truth of the fine, isn't it? That's the truth of the fine.
Yeah.
And when have they ever fined Celtic then? For causing a referee strike? When have they ever fined Celtic for their victimhood? Constantly banging on about referees. When did they fine Celtic? When Rodgers was in the paper last year before a cup final, threatening a referee, your career will be finished if you make any bad decisions against us in this final. Where was the fine?
I'm not saying that. I'm not disagreeing with you at all there, mate. What I'm saying is Rangers get fined for their statement. And I don't know when they changed the rules, mate, to make it like that, because when I read the actual part of it that Rangers get fined, it mentions social media and blogs and all that, so it's a recent change of rule, I would think.
All the other, can I just jump in there, folks? I read the same as you, mate. All the other charges were basically dropped, and it was basically the statement that Rangers had made online on the social media regarding the meeting that took place when Rangers went to Hamdump in front of the SFA, and that meeting supposed to be a private meeting, and the disclosure of that meeting should not have been put into the public domain. So that's what the £6,000 fine is for. Rangers should fight that, Rudy. I 100% agree with you. Yeah. We should fight everything that they're trying to do is, because I keep using the word. I'm not want to use the word conspiracy because the puddle drinkers use it all the time. But that there last night was blatant cheating. There's no other word for it. You know, this could be the culmination of us trying to have fairness in the game, and what happens is it's going to come back on us as usual. So we need to fight this, and we need to be vigilant. No, what are these referees, supervisors doing in the stands? No, are they going to say that Craig Thompson had a great game last night? I mean, the game was on the TV, and we could all see there where he was stalling, and it was a blatant penalty. Blatant penalty. And where he was storing when Koulibaly got sized down, he was standing five yards away, good view, and he can't see that that's a stone mill sending off. There's only one thing for it. Rangers have got to do the same as the puddle drinkers done, and take it to a higher authority.
Jimmy, can I just come in there just to say to you, Rangers were found guilty, right, on 2 charges.
Was it 2? I thought it was only 1.
No, charges 1 and 3. On charge 1, they get fined £5,000. And charge 3, they get fined £1,000. I got a response from Rangers. Rangers' response said, Rangers responded this afternoon, insisting they were happy with the outcome, but reiterating their desire for a change in the rule, which makes it impossible to appeal a yellow card for refereeing error. A Rangers spokesperson said, we are pleased that the majority of charges raised against the club have been dismissed. We remain convinced that the second yellow and red card issued to Daniel Candeias was mistaken and should have been rescinded. But it seems clear that for a red card issued after a second yellow to be rescinded in circumstances where an obvious refereeing error has occurred will require a change to the rulebook. Rangers will be pressing for that change to be made and would hope that the Scottish FA would support this request. End of statement.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to do a complete turnaround here. We had a discussion the other night about VAR, right? And I was one of the advocates have been against it.
Go on, Jimmy, say it.
I'm for it now. That's cheating. That's cheating. And if it keeps the cheating out the game, you know, that is cheating. And I welcome VAR now.
And that's my point the other night, Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly, mate. I've got egg in my face. I've got egg in my face now. And the fact is, and I'm quite happy to take that true. But what that last night, I keep saying it was absolute garbage refereeing, and it was cheating. So maybe if we have VAR introduced into Scottish football, it will stop the referees trying to cheat us, because that's what's going to happen in the very, very near future and beyond.
Can I just add something to that, Jimmy? 100% agree with you. But can I just add something? We should be pushing for the BBC's comments during, you know, their what do you call it, highlights programme. That seems to be the one that triggers off the compliance officer. You know, complaints to the compliance officer. We should be saying that shouldn't be allowed. Because these people never give Rangers a fair due. Never.
But Bridge, that's always been that way, mate.
I know, pal. I know. That's all I'm saying. But
I can understand what you're saying, but do you know something? I think there's bigger fish to fry than that. When you're watching something live, it doesn't matter what they say in the BBC. When you're watching something live, and it's there for millions to see, that a referee is blatantly disregarded a penalty, and the 100%. Treatment our Rangers players were given last night, then there is only one word for it, and I'm going to use it all the time now. It's cheating. He's cheated us last night.
And that's cheating beaten again. It's cheating beaten Mark too.
It's absolutely disgusting.
When you go back to the Kyle Lafferty goal, perfectly good Kyle Lafferty goal that was chalked half for offside.
Absolutely.
VAR would have sorted that out, so it would have.
I'm all for VAR, you know that, guys.
I think, to be honest, there's countries with probably better standard of referees than we've got in Scotland, and it's small nations that now don't have the big funding that need VAR more than the big clubs, I think, who get decent officials to referee their games. Yep. And if there's one country VAR should be in, it's our country because of the poor standard of referee. Yep. And I think it would sort out a lot of problems in football up here, mate. And getting back to Craig 100%. Thompson last night, mate. For 70% of the game, I thought he refed it very fairly and very, very decent. He allowed play to flow from end to end. But as we all know, the two major decisions, when it boiled down to it, he got wrong. Yeah. And that shows you the standard of referee. When the guys, didn't have a blocked view of any of the incidents. So the guy made the wrong call. And how's he apologising to Steven Gerrard the way he did to Brendan Rodgers? Apparently he never got or something a couple of months ago, you know.
Because it's us, Fox. As I said, it's easier not to give us a decision than it is to give us a decision. That's how the refs think in this country. And a huge part of that blame has to lie on the media as well. Because every time Rangers do get a decision, they're all whining about it and talking about it for days. It's all the papers, it's all social media, It goes on for a full week until the next time Rangers play. And they always find a problem. Very rarely does anybody actually ever say, do you know what, that decision that Rangers got was correct. You just have to watch Sports Scene, they hum and ha about it. If they do actually, anybody on Sports Scene, whether it's the boy Thompson or Michael Stewart, if they do actually ever admit to anything, it's grudgingly admitted, you know, with wee caveats and, you know, so that for a referee, it's easier just to say, I'm not giving the Rangers that decision because I'm going to spend a week getting lambasted in the media in this country if I give Rangers a decision. So for me, whether it's out and out cheating and it's just out and out trying to stop Rangers from winning the game, or it's a case of, I'm not going to give Rangers this decision. It's just easier for me not to do that. As Jimmy says, both ways, it's cheating for me. It's as simple as that. Because I
Rudy, I 100% agree with you.
Oh, no, hold on. Give Blue Shadow a wee shout.
Oh, sorry,
He's not comment on it.
Sorry, Blue. Sorry, mate.
Try to get one done, but right, but yeah, coming back to what you know, I mean, it's all very well. You can go over all these points. It doesn't make a blind bit of bloody difference with that statement that Rangers have just come out with. They they came out with the first statement. They put the complaint in against Column, and as many things the board's done, I thought, oh yeah, great, we're going to get something done about this at last, and they have totally wasted the time again because they totally acquiesced to the SFA again. So basically what they're saying is, it's fine, you can come across, you could let bloody centre-backs punch our players in the face, nothing be done about it, we'll just sit there and go, aye, that's fine. Because until they actually get some bollocks and follow something up, nothing's going to change, and we're going to keep getting players injured, and we're going to keep suffering from these decisions. That's an absolutely disgraceful statement from the board as far as I'm concerned.
Fair enough. Anybody else want to comment on that subject before we move on?
No, I'd just like to say that I agree with Rudy, and I agree 100% with Rudy and Jimmy. I think, as far as Rudy's saying about the decision to give a decision against Rangers is easier than giving it for them. I think Mount Vernon has been beating that drum for quite a long time in this programme here. He always said that it's easier to go against the Rangers than it is to go against anyone else. They'll get less flack from the papers. That's what they would say.
Yep.
So if we take it a wee bit further, then we're no odd as paranoid Protestants as we keep reading people saying. Aye. We all definitely think there is a definite bias against our club.
Well,
100%.
If you look at social media and you look at the media, Fox, apparently we shouldn't complain or have a gripe about anything. We should just take everything that's thrown at us, no matter how unfair it is. Yet, as I said, this season alone, you've had McInnes, Lennon, Rogers, Steve Clark for Kilmarnock all come out and lambasting referees. But we are supposed to just shut up and no talk about any of the unfair decisions. They tell you these unfair decisions even itself out over the space of a season. But I'll tell you what, we've got a good few coming up in the second half of the season alone, because this season, in the first half, we've had 5 goals disallowed for offside, and 4 of them have been shown after the game to be blatantly onside. So we've got a few coming up in our favour then, hopefully, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be hanging my hat on that.
No, definitely no.
I won't be holding my breath, guys, you know what I mean?
Dearie me. Aye.
What was apart from the bad decisions, Jimmy, last night, who was a success for you and who didn't knock it off for you last night playing the game against Hibs?
Ryan Jack was immense. I thought it was an immense game. Koulibaly didn't do much for me. Everybody else performed to the best of their ability and had a cracking game. But passing at times was absolutely wonderful to watch. The chances we had, dearie me, we should have won 4 or 5-0 out with the referee's bad decisions. Koulibaly for me was a downer. I just thought he didn't. I was surprised. It was the same team I'd picked apart for taking McCrory out and put Koulibaly in. I wasn't impressed with him at all. I was a wee bit surprised at the substitution, the way he brought on Middleton for, and I thought that was the right substitution for me. But overall, look, it's a draw. Everybody out with us expected us to get beat. We all knew it was going to be a hard game. But I was pleased with everybody's performance. Tavernier at times for me lacked at times. Going forward he was doing well. Defensively he was doing, but he needs to concentrate a wee bit more in the game. We missed Arfield, we went off at half time, and I don't know the latest on them, guys, if any of you can keep me up to speed, because I've not been on any media that much today. Is he out for at the end of the season or what?
No, he's got a wee touch of hamstring. I've got it myself, Jimmy. I done it falling down the stairs the other day, and I can tell you one thing, it's sore.
That must be the same one that happened to me when I missed the rung of the ladder. It wasn't there. But overall, I mean, a point was a good result, and the fact is that we didn't get beat, but we deserved to win the game hands down. And out with, as I said, the decisions that the referee never gave us. I thought we performed well, and we need to carry that performance on to the game on Sunday against St Johnstone, and then obviously against the Spoonburners next Wednesday, Boxing Day, and then against the Beggars, the Puddle Drinkers, and the 29th. We perform like that, folks, and we'll give a few teams a doing if we can get the ball in it. I thought Alfredo Morelos had a tremendous game, but I would say Ryan Jack just beat him to a man of the match for me. I thought he had a tremendous game. He done everything he could, tried his best, just couldn't get the ball in it. The one Tavernier missed was my granny could have scored that, and she's no here anymore, but hey ho, it's done now. But aye, overall, it's 2 points dropped for us. We were a better team on the night. Hibs put themselves about as well. Obviously, we know that. But they played some no bad football, Hibs, I've got to say. It was a really enjoyable game to watch, apart from the instance we was getting kicked out of the park and the blatant penalty. But I am happy in that aspect. But we all knew they were going to beat Motherwell at the Pedo Dome, so we'll go forward with that, folks.
And I don't normally mention them much, as you know, but were you shocked that Motherwell dropped five first-team players, mate?
No,
and said their emphasis was on the game on Saturday. Is that no cheating?
Of course it's cheating.
Weakening your side before you go to a game at Parkhead, where they have struggled in the Sunday game, and you dropped I think it was five first-team players they dropped, mate, to rest them. Gone to Parkhead. Absolutely shocking. Then we wonder how we think the game's corrupt, you know.
If it had been a cup final they were going into, and you could see the point.
I don't see the point of that at all.
No, what I'm saying is
cheating, Jimmy, you know.
It is cheating, but you can see if they were going into a cup final and they decided he was going to rest players, because it happens all over, but it's a league. So what he's decided is that he knows, it doesn't matter what team I'm going to put out here tonight, they're going to beat us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rest 5 players for the next game because we've got a chance of winning that game. That is blatant cheating. You know, I totally agree with that aspect, folk. Aye, but what do you expect for the Motherwell? You know, that's no. But
anyway, I didn't really want to bring them up, but I just thought when you'd brought a wee bit in there, I would stick that in for good measure. Another pleasing factor was second clean sheet in a row, mate. Do you think that's our best 2 centre backs? Both of them took knocks last night. I think that's who Stephen Gerrard is talking about. That a few of them took knocks last night. I think our central pairing of Goldson and Macaulay is beginning to look the part for me. Yeah,
definitely. I said before, folks, you know, I mean, it'd have been nice if we could had a guy like Macaulay in the last 2 or 3, 4 years. He's got the class here, he's got the experience, until Katic gets his finger out, whatever has happened to him. But him and Goldson are putting a good partnership up there, and I'm pleased about that. That's good. Hopefully the big man can play to 40 for next season, because him and Goldson in the middle there, and the centre defence are good.
Blue Shadow, are you liking that partnership, or would you rather see a change there?
Oh, absolutely. You know, that's the number one partnership for me. I mean, as soon as Macaulay had to go off and Worrell came on, the defence just looked a bit more shaky for me. He's made a big difference. I think the big difference that he makes is his organisational ability, and I think he's helping Goldson a lot as well. Yeah. Goldson seems to be a far better player than Macaulay's there. Whether it's just Macaulay organising things, it's hard to tell, you know, without actually being there and seeing the match, you know, and seeing how the whole thing's laid out. But from what I'm seeing on the box, it looks like that's our number one partnership. And with Tavernier and Barisic back, That's no a bad back line for me.
Yeah.
Can I come in on that one, Foxy? Okay, I'll come in then.
How'd you go, Bridge?
Seriously, Blue, I can't agree with you more. I think we've seen over the last number of games there that Goldson and Macaulay are by far and away the best of the centre backs that we've got at the moment, and look, not a bad pairing. I thought that Goldson's heading has been ramped up. He's going for the ball. He's getting the ball. He's making good headers. I'm not saying everyone's bang on, but he's certainly making clearance headers, which he wasn't doing properly before. I think Macaulay gives him that confidence and the ability to go and do what he wants to do without worrying about what's going to happen. And when you mentioned there, Barisic out in the left, so Goldson's out there. He's very comfortable with Barisic there. He can find Barisic quite easily without having to blast the ball 70 yards or something, So you can see he's playing a wee bit of football, and he's playing alongside Barisic, covering each other, and it looks quite good. Our only difficulty, most of us will see, is Macaulay's not the fastest person in the whole world, as we've seen. So that's a weakness. But hopefully he's enough player like Davy Weir. He's experienced, will put him in the right positions, and he'll be able to take care of himself. But a tremendous pairing at the moment.
I think Macaulay's talking Goldson through the games, and I think you're seeing a bigger improvement in Goldson to what we've seen, because, some of Goldson's performances a few games ago, they weren't up to scratch at all, we were raving about Goldson and Cartage in the first few games first couple of months of this 2-3 months of the season, and how good a partnership they looked, and then it just kind of all went downhill for there, really. But since Macaulay's come in, it certainly looks like Goldson's, he's learning from Macaulay. As you said, Macaulay's not got the greatest of pace, Bridgeman, but what he has got is experience in positional sense, where he should be. He's telling Goldson where to be. He's talking to the back four. He's talking to the midfielders in front of him. And he's constantly talking and shouting his way through games, so he's definitely, he's got to be in that partnership for me every week now with Goldson, and keep them steady at the back, allow them to develop a partnership together, the two of them.
Okay, do you want a last word there, Blue Shadow?
George? No, bring George in, mate. His poor guy's been sitting there for 10 minutes, I think.
Right, no bother. In you come, George.
How you doing, boy? You alright?
I like how you always cough before you speak. Clearing the throat. Good stuff, that, George. On you go.
That's probably just a nervous thing. Talk to you and Bridgeman. I was going to say, I take a lot of positives from last night. First of all, you never got the 3 points, which is the thing obviously you got, and Bridgeman's famous for saying you'll take a 1-0 and take the 3 points every game. But I think me and Jimmy spoke about a couple of weeks ago, was getting a bit to the worrying stage. We weren't making chances and we didn't look like we were ever going to score. I came and never scored. I thought we were excellent last night. You could probably, I would say every one of the guys in that part last night was a solid 7, going up to a possible 8 and 9. So I'm taking positives for it. We never got the win, which is obviously what we want today. Going to the Spoon Burners on a Wednesday night, you want to go there and pump them, but we've got them next week as well. But I'm looking our left back. I thought he looked excellent last night. We Fred just looked. I think if we can get Fred playing like that and behaving like that, he's got to score us and win us more games than it has been. I thought we were excellent last night. The back two looked solid enough. Tavernier even looked good. So if we can go in for the next, I think we've got 3 games now between now and December. If we can go in for the next 3 games, play how we played last night, I think we'll do no bad. And we all agreed a couple of weeks ago. In fact, at the start of the season, if we're on their coattails going into the Christmas break, we'll be doing no bad. So I think we've had a great ending of the season there, a couple of games of the season there, and if we can start taking points, we'll be very happy, I think, anyway.
Well said, George, well said.
Blue, did you want to come in there?
No, mate. I was just thinking. I think the back line's that's our number one back line. But there's a wee issue with what George was saying there. I thought Koulibaly wasn't so good after Arfield went off and we moved him slightly further forward for me. He seemed to get himself a little bit lost then. We know his close control isn't the best. And I think when Koulibaly was playing his best for me before he was injured, he was the one that was sitting in the central defensive midfielder role, and that let Jack move a little bit further forward into the middle of midfield and do that role that when he took over last night, and he seemed to be just controlling everything. And maybe Jack just needs that bit more confidence. He has the ability, but he just needs that bit more confidence. And hopefully with coaching from the likes of Gary McAllister and Steven Gerrard, he can become the player that we all hope he can be.
That's probably the issue I would probably have took as well, Blue, to be honest. See, on Sunday, I thought the partnership with McCrory and Jack was excellent. I don't know if maybe Jack's not 100% confident with Koulibaly beside him. I thought Jack and Ken Arfield went off, but Jack Arfield and Ross McCrory on Sunday were excellent. I think that if we can get these two guys playing side by side, McCrory and Jack, I think that's a good partnership. And I think McCrory's actually a better player than Koulibaly.
Yep.
He's a bit, sorry, on you go, mate.
I'd agree with that. The team, how you doing, George? All right, pal? I was a team when I picked it. My team, I had McCrory playing in there instead of Koulibaly, and I totally 100% agree with you, George. You know that I think he's a far better player than Koulibaly is, and I just didn't see why they put him in place of McCrory, because they played well at the game before.
That's my point. I didn't think there was any to change it.
If you'd have seen me last night watching the daily, I was like a man possessed. You all know my hate of Worrell, and I couldn't believe it when Worrell was brought on. I was screaming at the telly. I nearly wasted a double vodka on it, but I thought better of it. I just can't believe it that the gaffer played Worrell, but we got away with that one. He's got a head like a marshmallow. But getting back to the McCrory one that George was saying, I know we've all done it here. We can't understand why he chops it like that. I say we're all talking tonight, don't change a winning team. The only one I'd have changed was take Lafferty out, obviously, and put Fred in, and he didn't. He broke Koulibaly, and for life of me, I don't know why. Because the three of them played well in the middle. Can
I offer your suggestion there, JFK? Is the fact is that with young McCrory against teams particularly like the spoon burners and the puddle drinkers, as you're fond of calling them, he might just overheat a bit. And he gets overexcited and dives in where Koulibaly doesn't. He tends to stay on his feet unless it's the last ditch effort. Then he'll go to ground and tackle.
That's a brilliant point, Blue. You made a great point there, mate, and I can concur with that, you know. But I'm a great believer in as Fox is as well. Now, play the winning team. Play the team that you've got there that is winning, and they're playing well. And Jack McCrory and Arfield played well on Sunday. But obviously we lost Arfield second half. But no, I concur with what you're saying. I really agree with that. No, about the situation with McCrory. But I mean, I would have liked him play the same settled team. I can see what you're thinking as they're playing the spoon burners. But overall, let's hope. And unfortunately, Arfield's out now, so maybe that'll give McCrory a chance to have a run in the team. We don't know. We will soon see on Sunday.
Jimmy, I agree 100%. See, as far as McCrory goes, I would play McCrory and Jack all day long.
Yeah.
So I really would. I've come to that conclusion after some of the performances for Koulibaly since he came back. I don't think there's any reason why Koulibaly should have started any of the games in front of McCrory.
Yeah.
I really don't. And considering McCrory's one of our young players, Koulibaly's alone, as you've often said, you play our players. If they can do the job, play our own players. You're right, Jimmy, I agree with you.
I have to say that I thought Koulibaly played well last night. I had no problem with it at all. I think that it gives you something different in the middle of the park. He's not the best player in the whole world, of course, and I agree with you to a certain extent. But you know, if Koulibaly, I believe we do have the option on Koulibaly, and maybe the manager's making sure he gets games so that if he's going to settle in, he'll settle in. If he's no, we don't lose anything. But he needs to see him coming back because he's no longer have a wee bit of injury himself, plus a sort of a bit of death in the family type of thing, and it's quite difficult for anybody doing that. A young lad away from home. I thought he was very good last night. No problem at all for me. No problem.
The first couple of games of the season, but I had to sign him up after the first couple
of games. I agree, pal, I agree. He fell away.
Yeah.
Rich, can I just ask you to move your mic away from your nose? You're whistling there, pal.
Me?
Aye, you, aye.
I don't have a mic at my nose.
Yeah, you know, well, I can hear you breathing through it. Stop breathing and we'll send an ambulance
Okay,
out in 10
pal.
minutes. We had a wee go at maybe the manager changing his tactics up earlier on, but last night I thought he got his tactics spot on, especially in the first half, where we defended on the halfway line, mate, allowed Ambrose and those to take control at the back without pressing them too much. They shoved the ball towards the middle of the park and we stole it back after them and counter-attacked. I thought he got that spot on. Anybody agree with that?
I agree with you 100%.
I think we're all the same, but I think Fox, I think we all agree with that we played well. He got his tactics right. His substitution late on in the game just wasn't a wee strange one for me. But apart from that, you know, he sent the team out to play the way he wanted them to play, and thankfully, they played the way he wanted them to play. Sometimes they come off there and he tells you that they didn't do what I asked them to do, basically, you know, and that it's not acceptable. To a man they play, they even Koulibaly to a certain extent, but I've maybe just got a wee bee in my bun. I'd rather McCrory and see the Koulibaly, but apart from that, nah, you're right, Fox. The way he set out for the team today, they done it tremendously.
It looks like he set them up, Jimmy, for the first 15 minutes not to lose a goal, because I think it was expected after the Hibs result at the weekend against the puddle drinkers, as you call them. They'd have been flying with confidence, so I think he kind of expected Hibs to come out and absolutely batter us for a bit.
Well, that's what I said. That's what I said tonight.
Kept it tight at the back, you know, for the first 15 minutes. Don't lose a goal, keep it nice and tight, and then we'll hit them and play on for there, you know.
Right. Well, that's what I said. I might take a lot of time here. That's what I said there leading up to the game, Rudy, that we need to combat that because they done it to the puddle drinkers.
Yep.
And we need to be wary of that. And we did that. So the gaffer had his game plan and it worked. 10 out of 10 to the gaffer.
Yeah, got it bang on.
You agree with that, Shadow?
I think it's pretty was the way things went. I mean, the Spoonburrows, they're renowned for it. They come out both halves normally, and I'll even put it in the lobby. I think, you know, when they come out for the second half, they're going to do the same thing again and come at us for 15, 20 minutes at 100 mile an hour, and then there'll be a spent force. Well, as they go on for a wee bit, probably about the first half hour, and it just seemed to it worked a treat for me. And you've got to be ready for that, and you've got to be able to stand up and take control of the game off them. And when we got control of the game in the second half, that's when Jack started looking like the player that he looked like he stepped up another level actually to what I've seen him play before for me. And he looked like the man that was totally dictating the second half for us. Unfortunately, we just couldn't find that breakthrough to just take the 3 points, which was disappointing. But apart from that, not many other things that disappointed me about the game.
What about yourself, George? Do you agree with that?
That's at the very start of the game. I said that one of my mates said that I think he set that up perfectly well because they did come out of trap, like Blue was saying, they come out of trap that fast. They're a fast flowing football team, and by the way, they'll probably end up in the top 3, top 4 anyway. So that's why I'm saying about the positive. I think it was good for us to go there. We've had a couple of bad results recently, Aberdeen obviously, and I thought we played poor on Sunday, getting it, even though we got the 1-0 out of it, in the Dundee game obviously. So I think for us to go there, we got a great performance. I thought the manager set up well. That's what I'm saying about the positive today. We're starting to get people coming back. Obviously we're getting the left back, and I think he's a big improvement to what we've actually had. We've no other left back to, but if we're honest, Ken, Flanagan's played in there and Halliday's played in there, and they've done alright for us. Halliday more so, but it was good to see him coming back. So if we can start to get our tactics right, start to get players right, I'm in confidence going for the rest of the season, Fox.
Well said, George. Well said, pal.
I wouldn't take up like I wouldn't take if you get the option of buying Koulibaly, I wouldn't take it up. I think we've got Jack in there. We've got Jordan Rossiter in there, who's actually fit. He's just sitting in the stand. We've got Ross McCrory in there. I think if we've got money to spend, we can spend it somewhere else. If it's on a striker or another centre back or back up to somebody else, I think we'll do that. I didn't think we'd go for Koulibaly. See the last 20 minutes, people are saying he came out in a game last night. The last half hour, whenever the last wee bit he was on the park, I thought he looked like a big coup. I just thought his running was terrible.
Thank you, George.
I thought he had somebody else's bits on, Jimmy. I did kind of.
I think his legs started to go, George. I think that's all it was. I think his legs started to go. I would just like. I think, to be honest, as I said earlier, I quite like the guy, and I think he'll get his fair share, fair chance, fair manager. The manager will decide one way or another if he's good enough, and if he's not good enough, he wouldn't be taken up. If he is good enough for it, even if he could be a squad player, I don't know how much the manager would expect to buy him for the option wise. I don't know what the option is, but I'm quite sure I trust in the manager. He was not going to, but hopefully he's not going to bring in anybody that's going to be a complete and utter failure for us. But it has to have that squad of maybe, I don't know, 16, 18 players to sort of be able to rotate around, maybe a full team squad of 22 or something. So he might be in among that lot. I don't know. I think he's a really good player for us, to be honest. I see the improvement since the last couple of times that he played him, and you could see that his heart wasn't in the game. And last night he made some very, very good runs last night, but the last 20 minutes, you're absolutely right. You could see his legs had started to go. So that's coming back. That's all that is. Just to me, anyway, it's just come back. It's just a fitness thing. If he gets his fitness back, you might see a big difference.
We do have a lot of midfield players that are of similar ability to me. Do you think January would be a time to unload some of them? I don't think Jordan Rossiter is going to get his chance at Ibrox. We've got him fit. Is this the time to sell him? Is it the time to sell Lee Wallace? Because we need money in to buy some quality. Do you think we can shift any of them out during the summer? Yep. Go to you first, Rudy.
Aye, well, Lee Wallace doesn't look like he's in the frame at all, does he? And certainly no ahead of Barisic for me. I think he also, for some reason, seems to prefer Flanagan or Andy Halliday, even without Barisic ahead of Lee Wallace. I don't think Lee's got a future anymore. I think it's time for him to go. I think it'd be preferential for both us and him as well. Lee Wallace will get a club, no problem. Certainly getting a club in Scotland, no problem. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lee Wallace goes in January. Big thanks for all his service and all that. But I can't really think. I don't know so much about Jordan Rossiter though, Fox, because I really do think there's a player in there. If we could just keep him fit. I think the problem with the midfield is, I said this last week, we have too many midfielders of the same ilk, in my opinion. You've got Roster, Jack, McCrory, Koulibaly, who are all very similar players, in my opinion. Each has got like a wee attribute that's possibly, akin to them, but in general, they're very similar players. It depends what happens in January. Is he going to look to bring another midfielder in? Well, we spoke about that. We've certainly said we'd like to see an attacking midfielder come in January. Hopefully, big rumours about Stephen Davis. We'll see how that goes come January. I don't think you'll see much going out of Rangers. Possibly Lee Wallace. I don't see Jordan Rossiter going out in January.
Okay. Would any of the rest of you let Jordan Rossiter go?
No.
No. What do you think he offers to the club, mate? He's got a horrendous injury record. We've got him fit. I don't think he's any better than some of the rest of the players we've got there. I think we could afford to sell him myself.
I don't think you get much for him anyway.
But it's a wage after wage bill as well, mate.
I still think that we should maybe give him a chance to the end of the season and then see what happens.
Aye.
That's all I would. I'm gonna get rid of him in January. If he's not going to be part of the team for the end of the season, he's still a jersey as far as I'm concerned, and it might do something for us to the end of the season when the going gets tough that we're needing to fill a jersey. But I mean, for me, it would be Lee Wallace would go. If I could, I'd like to see Joe Worrell go as well in January. If we could curtail that. What do you call it, loan deal. Ryan Jack obviously is there. McCrory's there in the midfield. Jordan Ross that we've spoke about. We've got Scott Arfield. Koulibaly for me, I would let him go ASAP. I'm not a fan. Graham Dorrans, I'm obviously hoping that he comes on to get his fitness back up. And Andy Halliday, no matter what anybody says, Andy Halliday is who he is. And we need to keep him up front. We can't afford to get rid of anybody because we've only got 3 or 4 guys here that can play in that position. There's one guy I would get rid of, and that would be Lafferty.
Would you get rid of Lafferty?
Oh, definitely. I think Lafferty's a coup. I don't think he's got a future at Rangers, and I think it's one of the worst buys that Steven Gerrard has done. I don't rate the guy at all. I just think he's playing for Rangers now, and he's getting back into the mode of, I'm Kyle Lafferty and I play for Rangers. No, for me, he doesn't bring anything to me to the game. I know he scored in the European game and that, but hey ho. But for me, I just don't see it.
I think George calls him the daffodil. He doesn't start playing till springtime, you know. So you never know, you know.
Well, for me, I was a fan of Kyle Lafferty before, but if I had a chance, I would try and get some money for him. But we need to strengthen up front in January, and I think he's bringing a striker that could help Fred. Fred puts in a tremendous amount, 90 odd minutes, and he needs a bit of help up there. Lafferty's not a man to do it.
Okay, anybody else want to comment? Bridge?
Yeah, can I just say that Lafferty, I never ever wanted him, and anybody could tell you that. But he's there. I thank him very much. He scored, I think, 4 good goals for us. 2 against Motherwell, a tough game, and he scored 2 goals and a couple in the European area. I think that's probably been worth those goals have probably been worth the money that we paid for him alone. I wouldn't have gave a penny for him, to be honest, but we've got him. Jimmy, I think he's got a 2-year contract, and I don't see Lafferty walking away for that. I think I don't know anyone who would buy him based on our description of him. I don't know anyone who would buy him because he's on a good contract. It'd be very difficult to get him out the door.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Plus the fact, Jimmy. Oh, sorry,
Paul. Just letting we're getting near the end of time here. Right, on you go.
Ross it up. I don't think you'd get anything for him in January. That's why it's a little bit of a gamble, but I'd keep him. Try and get some games under his belt. You might get some money from him in the summer if you don't want to keep him. Lafferty, again, we haven't got enough strikers at the minute, so even if Andy Dallas came through and Zach Rudden, who's due back in the new year, actually contributed some to the first team, I'd still keep Lafferty till the summer break for me. Then you might want to look at it, but certainly I think we still want to sign another striker on top of that because the 2 young lads are highly unlikely to come in and hit the ground running. It's going to be half an hour there, 40 minutes another, maybe a half another time. So for me, that's the front line. In defence, I don't think we're doing too bad. As JFK's no a Joe Worrell fan, neither am I myself. But if we've missed the opportunity to let him go back to Forest when they wanted him. So I think we'll have to hold him on him until the rest of the season. So that still gives us 4 centre backs, not including the young lads. So I think basically I can see us possibly bringing in a midfielder. But then again, also Dave King came out and said we haven't got any money to sign players. So I don't think we'll be making that many signings anyway. But I want us to see go for quality, not quantity. We've had enough quality. We've had enough quantity. We really need to concentrate on the quality nowadays. And if they're not better than what we've got, don't bother.
Okay, last word to George.
3 quick ones, folks. I'll keep Lafferty because I think he'll score goals between now and the end of the season. For me, if we can get him fit, and the best man for it, if he's got to ever get fit, is Steven Gerrard. I think Jordan Rossiter's the best holding midfielder at the club. And Lee Wallace, he's played 3 games, closed door games. He's got another 2 to go. Gerrard set up a 5-game hangman for him to try and get him fit to rejoin the first team squad. I don't know if that's to get him out the club or is to get him back in the first team squad. Me personally, I think he's the second best left back at the club, so I would use him as backup. That's my point there, boys.
Cheers. Last word, Bridge, on you go.
What can I say? A really good night tonight. Thoroughly good discussion. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I've just got to say this to other Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on Euro Rangers Radio. But every single one is keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers need us. Keep it going.
I want to thank True, who came in at the last minute to cover for Ox, all the callers, Blue Shadow, Rudy, Jimmy from Knightswood and George. Hope I never missed out MD there. We'll be back tomorrow night for 40 ounce of Friday. Good night and thank you very much for listening.
I sailed the wild Atlantic, across the broad Pacific shore. I sailed around the starry capes, and I've heard the forties roar. I've climbed the Indian Ocean, and I've sailed the China Sea. But there's a sea back home in Scotland, more than all the rest to me.